February is Recreation Therapy Month. At Project Sanctuary, we have 5 CTRSs, which is a Certified Therapeutic Recreation Specialist. It's a mouthful, we know. So today we want to share with you how we use recreation therapy in every aspect of the work we do at retreats. So lots of organizations use recreation to support their participants, and Project Sanctuary uses therapeutic recreation, or rec therapy, to promote health and wellness as a way to reduce the limitations that we may come across when participating in life as families. So we create an environment of inclusivity at retreats. We do everything together. We don't limit or specialize our activities by certain populations or ability levels. We want most, if not all, of our activities to be done as the whole family all together. And by using recreation therapy in this way, we encourage and facilitate the opportunity for families to achieve goals together. And that in turn promotes a healthy family leisure lifestyle. And this is important because they can take these skills and all the things they've learned and experiences they've had at the retreat home with them. And that's why Project Sanctuary has chosen recreation therapy as kind of the foundation of all the services we provide. So now that you kind of know why we've chosen it, I'm going to have Sharon and Holly explain to you how they use rec therapy when they are developing and creating the actual retreat schedules. So Sharon, if you want to start.
Thank you. As Missy said before, I'm Sharon. I'm grateful to be able to visit with you guys as well. A lot of what Missy mentioned is when creating the schedule for the week at retreats, taking into account that we're working with military families is a huge part of it. And understanding that it's very different. We've got people that have been deployed for a long time that's now just coming back to with their families. And we've got people that has had some struggles because of the different things that they face, like with PTS and TBI. And so with creating the schedule, we've tried to take all of that into account of the different dynamics families would have. And we try to have at least like 3 levels of types of recreation within each retreat we provide. One of them is kind of like the top of, here's an experience that I might never have had as a family before that can help kind of bond and like, oh my gosh, did we just experience this together? Such things as going whitewater rafting. Right now, with it being in winter, snowmobiling has been a common one. I know my husband's been jealous saying, I've never gone snowmobiling because it's not something that's always available, but we want to be able to give that special activity for the families to be able to have together. Below that, we provide activities that might take a little planning, but are more easily to achieve. It could be, like I said, once again, for our winter schedule, we do snow tubing. It's a lot easier to find a hill that you can have your family go do. Might take a little planning and prepping, but it's more feasible to be able to go and do. Other things that we might be doing is horse back riding or going bowling. Might take a little prep, but it gives a different level of recreation that the families can gauge and do, that they're like, hey, this is something that we enjoy doing as a family. When we go home, we can do this again, or similar type things, and just kind of opens up more flexibility for them. And then the bottom layer that we try to provide are activities that would allow the families to easily implement in their own homes. Doesn't necessarily cost any money. They don't have to necessarily go anywhere, but it's family time that they can have together. As at our retreats, a lot of times we'll have family game nights or s'mores or just things like that that they can easily implement at home. And with these different layers, it allows them to be able to bond in a different way that they might not have had an opportunity, and to be able to learn in that way. So Holly's going to go into more details about specific activities that might be found on a Project Sanctuary schedule and how it's recreational and therapeutic.
Yeah, so thanks, Sharon. So some activities that we plan for our population that might seem like they're all fun and games, but they're really planned with intent of certain goals and reasons why we do what we do when we do what we do. So one activity that I really like to do at a beginning of the retreat is like a get to know you, let's connect activity. So imagine having 12 families coming from all over to meet for this great retreat, but nobody knows each other. But we as staff there and rec therapists want everybody to be as comfortable as they can coming to an event where they really don't know anybody outside of their immediate family. So together they're participating in all types of activities for 6 days. So the reason that we do these Let's Connect is because they're going to be participating in activities as far as class, recreational activities with their families, and we want them to feel like they can open up in front of one another. You know, they may be vulnerable. We don't want them to feel like they're being judged by anybody. We want it to be a safe place. So being a programmer, we need to mix up our delivery of modalities. The get to know you is more of a physical activity. You're up and moving around. Whereas the next activity I'm going to talk about, we'll touch on, is more sedentary and it incorporates art. So kintsugi, which is one of my favorite activities to do at our type of setting, is because it's Japanese art, and it's the art of embracing your wounds, your imperfections, just a process of healing what's been broken throughout your lifetime. We're all going to carry these scars and marks, and the purpose of this activity is to break a piece of pottery and glue it back together with, I guess you would call it epoxy, to make it whole again. So the purpose behind that really is just to let the person or family know that, you know, everything you've been through, you're still that person because you've been through it. You know, your wounds are honest parts of who you are and why you are who you are. Group recreational activities are planned with the intention to initiate a sense of belonging, relatability, which are achieved by sharing common experiences. So that's why we bring up to 12 families together who are military families. A lot of them are going through the same things. So it helps them relate to one another. And that's a powerful thing that can help with healing. As a programmer, I think of them with the understanding that we're going to be working on communication, better as a family. We're going to be working together as one unit, understanding who they are as a family, understanding who they are as an individual, overcoming certain challenges, fears, supporting loved ones, reducing stress, finding activities that the whole entire family will like, and hopefully they will pursue after they leave us after the 6-day retreat. So as a certified therapeutic recreation therapist, I am trying to embrace and enhance the physical, the cognitive, the emotional, the social, and the leisure development, so individuals may participate fully and independently in life's chosen pursuits. They get to choose. Finding an activity that will work for people across the lifespan. So we do get a lot of itty bitties up to, at times we have grandparents come. So it's an activity that's going to be able to be relevant and impactful for all of them. Back to you, Missy.
Great. All right. So now that we've heard from Sharon and Holly about how the retreat schedule is developed and created, we're going to hear from Shayna and Cammie, and they're going to explain how they approach and use recreation therapy when they are actually at the retreat, more of a kind of boots on the ground. These are the things that retreat participants will really see and experience firsthand. So I'll let them explain that portion.
Thanks, Missy. So part of our role as recreational therapists on the retreats is to facilitate programs for the youth and teens. And the youth and teen program include face-to-face interventions in which we teach the same concepts that the parents are learning in their classes, but on a level that the youth and teens can understand. So these classes include communication, emotions, self-awareness, post-traumatic growth or post-traumatic stress, and traumatic brain injury. And the teens, who typically range from age 13 to 18, typically have the opportunity to meet with financial advisors who teach them about their finances and how to manage their money. And they also get to work with the counselors, and they learn a little bit more in depth about post-traumatic stress or post-traumatic growth than the youth do. And the main thing that we like to see happen as recreational therapists working with the youth and teens is for them to open up to their parents about the topics that we've discussed in class, and to help them to see that they are not alone in their experience as a member of a military family, that there are other kids who experience similar emotions and circumstances that they're experiencing. Part of Project Sanctuary's purpose is to help military families heal, and we believe that can be done through communication and understanding. So as recreational therapists, as we foster that in an environment to allow that to happen, whether that be through the activities that we run in the everyday schedule that we kind of heard about, what we did hear about from Sharon and Holly, or whether that be in group or even in their own individual family discussions, we witness healing happen. We witness that from the start of the week to the end of the week. And it's amazing. It's amazing what we see happen. So I'm going to turn the time over to Cami.
Awesome. Thank you, Shayna. So I want to share a little bit more about, as a recreation therapist, what it is required for us to do and how we incorporate that here at Project Sanctuary. As a rec therapist, we follow the API process, which stands for assessment, planning, implementation, evaluation, and documentation. And you just heard from Sharon and Holly how we do the planning and implementation. And then when your kids and your teens, and when you come, you do a pre-retreat survey where we ask you some questions in 4 different categories: mental health, finances, purpose, and relationships. And then when you leave, or your children leave, we do the same survey, and as well as numbers, we add some essay questions so that we can get some feedback. And this is awesome because we can ask questions like, where did you feel connected during the week? And a lot of people will say, maybe you said, in the cabin, or when we were snowshoeing, or when we were playing goose chase, or some of those other fun things that we do. And the cool thing about being a rec therapist and getting this information back is the E, that we evaluate. And we say, this program is working. And, you know, Holly and Sharon, when you're programming, make sure you add more of this certain thing, because this is where we're getting the feedback that it's working and people are feeling connected. And other things that we're like, all right, let's get rid of that. It's not working. We don't like to run it. The families don't like to receive it. And so we are always evaluating. And then at the end of each day, we document. We write down what's working, what's not working, behaviors of kids. And then it's really neat working with counselors, because then we pass on some information. And sometimes we sit down with counselors and a child and a dad that don't know how to communicate, and we help them out and we give them some resources that way. So there's a lot of neat experiences with being a rec therapist when we follow our API process, but also when we're just seeking human connection. It's really amazing to just come to a retreat and to just sit and observe, because like I love how our programming is scheduled throughout the week because it's sequenced. When you come, we know that you're uncomfortable. We know that you don't know us. We know you don't know each other. And so we create opportunities so that we can baby step it together and get to know each other and feel comfortable, and then open more doors and open more doors. By the end of the week, everybody says, what? It's already done? We don't want to leave yet. We just got to really know you. And so retreats are powerful and they're pretty incredible. And I love that they are based off of CTRSs and the programming. I do want to share one experience, and it was off of what Holly was talking about. That's something that we evaluated, that was making sure that we have an activity that first day that brings all of the families together. And so one time I was in Texas, out Balcony, and we did what was called the Amazing Race. This was before COVID and before masks and before having certain boundaries. But what we did is we set up, if you don't know what the Amazing Race is, we set up different obstacles that the families had to do. But the trick was that they couldn't do it as just their own family. They had to do it with another family. So maybe that was a paper plane competition, or maybe it was building a pyramid. It was writing a poem and different things. But at the very end, they had a couple tasks that I want to share that were really neat. One of them was that they had to spell out Project Sanctuary using their bodies. And we had a drone, a volunteer with a drone that was able to take a picture from the top. So this is the picture. At the very end, we all gathered together with this big rope in this big circle. You can see this picture here. And everybody held on to this rope. And as everybody held on to this rope, they were instructed to sit down together, and then somebody would count to 3, and at the same time, everybody would stand up together. And you couldn't get yourself up. You had to use the weight of everybody in the group. And it gives me the chills when I think about it and talk about it, because that is what a retreat is about. It's that we are all pulling back to say, I'm a little out of balance, but together we lift each other up. And we talk about the benefit of a rope and the strength of it, and how that is true for us coming to retreats and coming together and uniting together. And so I really love working for Project Sanctuary. I'm grateful for it. And thank you guys for listening to us today.
Yeah, thank you. I want to say thank you to all of you ladies to bring each of your own individual passion and expertise to not only this video to share what rec therapy is, but to Project Sanctuary as an organization. And then to the viewer, thank you for watching our video to the end. And we would love to see you at a retreat, whether that be as a participant or a volunteer or just a supporter in any way. That's how we're able to do our jobs, is because people come and love Project Sanctuary and the families we serve. So thank you very much. Bye.